Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will be trying out some new fragrances from Lattafa from the Pride series. I have here 4 fragrances with me. I have the travel version of all the fragrances, so basically 20 ml versions of all their fragrances. I have 2 fragrances for women for today's video and 2 fragrances for men. Now for the women's fragrances I will be trying out a fragrance called Awaan and I will be trying out a fragrance called Tharwah Gold. As for the men's fragrances, I will be trying out a fragrance called Ameed and a fragrance called Winner's Trophy Silver. Now, like I've mentioned, these are from the Lattafa Pride series. If you haven't tried any fragrances from the Pride series, they're supposed to be the more premium, more exclusive line from Lattafa. They upgraded their packaging for the fragrances, the presentation. Some of the fragrances as well in this collection are very showstoppers, bold, unapologetic type of fragrances. And speaking of bold and unapologetic, I have reviewed 3 fragrances from the Lattafa Pride series so far. I have reviewed SHUYUKH Gold, which is a gorgeous, unique, out-of-the-box creative fragrance. Feel free to check out the review for this fragrance. I have reviewed as well Eternal Oud and NEBRAS, the very popular, or like the most popular fragrance from the Pride series. I feel like, at least when it comes to fragrances for women, NEBRAS. Now all these videos will be linked down below. So yes, now what else to tell you about this? Like I have mentioned, I have the travel version of all these fragrances and I would advise you to actually do the same, especially if you don't have a place where you can actually go, like a store where you can actually go in and smell any of the fragrances. My advice would be to buy, or like blind buy in this case, the smaller bottles. Now they don't look as fancy, they don't look as beautiful, they don't give you that like experience, you know, when you're like unboxing your fragrance, you're feeling the packaging, you're feeling all the materials of the presentation or anything, but at the same time, like, they do the work, you know. They do the work, they are basic but they are good and they are functional. So I feel like that's what matters. Now let's start with the first one, which is called Awaan. Now, like I've mentioned, guys, the presentation for these travel sprays, it's not the most luxurious one. You have 20 ml of fragrance, they're made in the United Arab Emirates, and basically here you have a picture of the fragrance, which I find it's a very nice touch because you actually get to see how the full bottle would look like if you were to buy it, and in the background you have the name of the fragrance, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so I have tried all of these fragrances prior on my skin, even the ones for men. I have tested it on my skins, but today I will spray them here on paper and I will let you know what I think about them and how was my experience so far with the fragrance. Oh, but by the way, before I tell you how this one smells like to me, please, if you have tried any of these fragrances, I would love to hear your feedback on them down below. So if you don't mind, please share your thoughts about these down below. Now this one opens up very juicy in a way, very full. It smells like somewhat of a concentrated juice in a way. You have here a beautiful bergamot accord. The bergamot is soft, it's slightly effervescent, slightly sparkling. It has this like soft, sweet, sour feel to it that works very well here in my opinion. I also detect a lot of orange blossom and sweet orangey undertones, but they are balanced. The opening is very sweet. It smells, has something very young about it, but it doesn't smell youthful, you know. It doesn't smell like a fragrance for teenagers in my opinion. This fragrance is ageless. It has an elegant facet, but it also has like some playfulness to it in a way. But I feel like overall this is a very feminine, easy to enjoy, day to day, nothing sophisticated, nothing too complicated, nothing out of this world type of fragrance. That was a long name. Yeah, it's beautiful. I like it, you guys. I like it. The first time I actually smelled this fragrance, it reminded me of another fragrance from Lattafa called Fakhr for Women. Now, since having these ones in my collection for a while now, like many months, I don't find them as similar. I only think that they share that like citrusy orangey facet that you find as well in Fakhr. But here it's slightly more playful in a sense. Fakhr for Women, I would say it's more elegant, it's more sophisticated, it's more elevated in a way, while this one is more day-to-day, casual, easygoing, like I've mentioned, nothing too complicated. type of fragrance. I would say you would enjoy this one. I mean, honestly, it's very hard to not enjoy it. There's not much to not enjoy about this fragrance. It smells beautiful. Like I've said, it has something youthful about it, but it doesn't smell like a full-on teenager fragrance. It's a very versatile fragrance. You could wear it from daytime up till the nighttime, in the winter time, in the summertime, every season in between. I think it's the kind of fragrance that should or could be potential, like your potential, like a grab and go type of fragrance. Like, let's just say you're running a quick errand, but you could also wear this one to your office. You could wear it at a walk in the park. You could wear it for, I don't know, like you're going out at a brunch with your girlfriends. You know, it's a very versatile fragrance. It's the kind of fragrance that everybody will enjoy it, which is a plus. I mean, it could be a plus or it could be a minus if you're looking for something a bit more unique. Now, in my opinion, this is not the most unique fragrance. I have fragrances that it reminds me of, but I think it's a staple or like a basic done very well, in my opinion. It's okay, so as it stays on the skin or even here on the paper, as it starts to develop, you have a beautiful clean jasmine that's very like bright and airy but present, that's a little bit sweet. You have a beautiful creamy sandalwood feel in the background, a white musk here that's slightly fluffy, but again, a very clean kind of musk, nothing animalic, nothing challenging about it. And you also have a burst of freshness that envelops this fragrance from time to time. It definitely does have something fresh about it, but not fresh in a sense of like aquatic freshness. No, fresh in a sense of like clean, bright, airy, you know. Yeah, and as it starts to get closer to the dry down, you also detect a little bit of vanilla here. I think it's beautiful. Like I've mentioned, it's nothing too complicated. This is ageless. You could get it for someone who's very young as a gift. I feel like the presentation is beautiful, the price is fair. You could also buy it for someone who's a bit more mature, perhaps. It doesn't matter. I feel like it's very hard to not enjoy this fragrance. It's simplistic, but it's beautiful. I think in the summertime, this will shine definitely the most, or in high heat in general, because it's quite simple in a way. It will not overpower, it will not be too suffocating, it will not be too intrusive to anyone around you or even to yourself, you know. It's the kind of fragrance that, I don't know, in my opinion, you don't have to think twice about reaching for it. Like I've mentioned, you could legit wear this fragrance even to the gym, you know, because it does have something elegant about it, but it's not that like strict elegant. I feel like this is the kind of fragrance that you could dress it up or dress it down depending on the outfit you choose to wear it with. You could definitely wear this one with a casual pair of jeans and a t-shirt and some sneakers. You could also wear this one with a flowy dress. You could also wear this one with a crisp white shirt. You could also wear this one with something more sporty, perhaps, you know, like let's just say you're going to yoga or to Pilates or to the gym even. It's the kind of fragrance that depending on what outfit you put on and what's the mood, I feel like the fragrance will adapt in a way. So in this sense, I find it very versatile. It's a good fragrance overall to have if you're looking for a basic day-to-day type of fragrance. It has some sweetness. It's definitely sweet, especially in the opening. It's very sweet. In the opening, to me, it smells like concentrated juice, because even though it's bright and light, but it has something very dense and rich about it as well. As it stays on the skin, it gets slightly airier, slightly more breezy a bit. Other notes start to shine. The floral part shines more. You start to get the creamy sandalwood, the musky facets. So yes, overall, I do enjoy it. I do think it's worth it as long as you are looking for a day-to-day fragrance. If you're looking for a day-to-day fragrance, this is an amazing option. If you're looking at the moment to invest in something a bit more unique, a bit more how to say, something special, you know, or something extra, I don't know if this is the kind of fragrance that I would recommend you. I think other fragrances would work better in that situation. But if you enjoy in general Fakhar for Women by Lattafa, think of this one as a more playful version of that one, you know. If you enjoy Amirat Al Arab by Asdaf, again, you will really enjoy this fragrance. And if you enjoy in general this kind of fragrances. Now, the performance for this fragrance, I feel like it's decent. For the price you pay, it's decent. It's nothing out of this world. Definitely on clothes, it lasts much better. On clothes, you could even smell this fragrance, I feel like, the next day. Now, on my skin, I feel like after 4 hours, it starts to become softer and softer to the point where I cannot smell it. But like I've mentioned, on clothes, it definitely lasts better. In your hair, it lasts better. Let's just say maybe you buy this small version, you enjoy it, you decide to buy the full bottle, then you could easily put this one in your purse in a little pocket on the side, and you could reapply the fragrance. I do think this is the fragrance, or like this is the kind of fragrance that personally I would feel the need to reapply it every 4 to 5 hours to keep the level of strength that I would like in my fragrance, and I would overspray it. But in my opinion, you could do easily like 10-15 sprays of this one without it being too much. Now let's move on to the next fragrance for women. This one is called Tharwah Gold, and I think usually a lot of fragrances from the Pride series, from what I have seen, the gold version, like Tharwah Gold, is for women, Tharwah Silver is for men. Just as well with this one, with Winners. Winners Silver is for men, Winners Trophy Silver is for men, Winners Trophy Gold is for women, from what I remember. Yeah, now this fragrance is very different. I mean, look, this fragrance is very, it's tricky, I would say. I have moments when I smell it and I really like it, and then I have moments when I smell it and it smells like a very poorly done affordable fragrance. I don't know. I'm still not very sure how I feel about it. Now smelling it, I do enjoy it. I get what's most beautiful about this fragrance in a way, but I remember quite recently when I was testing again these fragrances, because I knew I wanted to film this video. That day, I don't know, maybe it was because of my hormones, maybe it was, I don't know, because of the specific time of the month, I'm not sure, but I was not really enjoying that fragrance, I'll be very honest. Okay, this one in the opening is a bit alcoholic, so I will let this one sit for a minute, but in the first few seconds of smelling it, it smells like bubble gum. Like if you imagine bubble gum in the flavor of grapes, this is how it smells to me for a few minutes in the opening. Then it moves into a floral direction, I would say, like a fresh floral direction, but in the opening it smells, oops, sorry, I just dropped something. It smells like bubble gum with grapes, or like a grape flavored bubble gum with some violets there. I don't know, it smells purple to me. See, now I like it. Now I don't smell the weird elements that I was smelling a while ago. Yeah, it definitely has this bubblegum facet in the opening. Now this to me smells a tad more youthful than the previous one, and also this one smells purple in a way. Again, I don't know what it has. I don't know if it has violet or like something, but it smells purple. But it has something very interesting about it. It smells like grape flavored bubblegum mixed with something that smells like candied violet, mixed with a fresh, like a very present and powerful fresh accord that from time to time kind of overpowers all the other notes. Then you have some soft powdery facets, then some like abstract white florals in the background, some citruses, but the citruses again, they give just a hint, like, or like a tinge, a little bit of something to the fragrance, but it's not. Yeah, see, now the floral part starts to shine more. Again, now I will be very honest, now when I smell it, I actually really like it. I remember applying this fragrance. Look, you know, there are those like blankets with hands that you can like wear them as like a piece of clothing. I have one of those, and I remember I sprayed it on that specific blanket, and the fragrance lasted for 3 days. After 3 days I could still smell the fragrance on that blanket, but I went in heavy with the sprays, I remember. Now again, this one on clothes lasts amazing. On my skin, look, I think maybe, yeah, last time I tried it and I didn't enjoy it. I actually tried it on my skin, but this time I am trying it on paper, and on paper it's more stable in a sense. On my skin, I don't know, it felt very unstable. It would like, I would smell it now, it would smell like something. I would put my hand away, I would go in and smell it again, I would get completely different facet of the fragrance, and not in the most pleasant way in a sense. But smelling it now on paper, I love it. And also smelling it on clothes, when I sprayed it on that blanket, loved it. Now this to me smells young, it smells youthful, it smells, again, this is a fragrance for the warm weather in my opinion. You could wear it in the daytime, you could wear it in the nighttime, but I feel like warm weather is where this one will shine the most. It has some sweet facets, but it smells, again, it smells purple, and it smells like grapes from time to time. I don't know. The bubblegum facet, I feel like started to fade away, and I get more of like a warm, sweet jasmine with a freshness. This has a lot of freshness to it. It smells like it could pass as a scent for shower gels, but more, let's just say more premium shower gels in a sense, you know, not the ones that you can find in any drugstore, more like the ones that you can find at like beautiful resorts, or like at more like upscale spas, you know. Yeah, so smelling it now, I definitely think here on paper it's much more stable and more balanced and more beautiful than it was on my skin a while ago. On my skin, it depends on the time, but I'm not really the biggest fan of it. But here it actually smells really beautiful. This is more playful, I would say. It's even more youthful than the previous one. This one, I feel like it's when you want something for the summertime, nothing too serious. Again, quite a happy, uplifting, playful kind of fragrance, something that perhaps wouldn't bother people around you. Again, I feel like this one smells a bit more unique compared to the previous one, in a sense that I cannot pinpoint any fragrances that smell like this one. Now, as it starts to develop here, to me it smells like grape juice. It smells like grape juice mixed with a beautiful, warm, clean jasmine, mixed with something powdery. It has some greenness in the background, but like just a tinge, a little bit of greenness feel here, nothing too much, nothing too green. And that like fresh shower gel shampoo, like a cord that envelops all the other notes to my nose. So yeah, again, very feminine leaning fragrance. Now this one, I can say it's like my style of fragrance. I feel like between the two, in a sense, I prefer the previous one because it's slightly more elegant, timeless, feminine in a sense, while this one is more, I don't know. See, in all honesty, I like it on paper, I don't like it on my skin. On my skin it smells cheap. I will be very honest, on my skin it smells cheap. On paper and on clothes it smells better. But by the way, if you have tried this fragrance, I would love to hear your experience with the fragrance. How do you think it smells like to you? Because I think that when it comes to this fragrance, it's very hard to actually pinpoint, you know, what you are smelling in a sense. I don't know, it goes here and there, you know, it goes into a lot of different directions every time you smell it. Those were my thoughts about these two fragrances for women. Now let's move on to the fragrances for men, and I'm very excited to talk about and I'm very excited to talk about the next fragrance because I have found a fragrance that I love. Now, not on me, on my partner, you guys, or on men in general. It smells so beautiful. Now, this next one that I want to talk about is again by Lattafa, just like all the other ones, and this one is called Ameed. So I'll be very honest, I try to convince my partner to let him be like my guinea pig when it comes to testing out these two fragrances, because I know fragrances on a woman's skin smell in a certain way, and the same fragrance on a man's skin can smell very different. Now, not very different in the sense that it's like two completely different scent families, but in the sense that different notes shine more on a woman's skin and different notes shine more on a man's skin. I have noticed this when I was asking my partner if I could like randomly try a few fragrances on him. Now yes, by the way, I have tried these two fragrances on him as well as on me, but I will let you know how they smell in general. So I mixed up, oh my god, I see now that I mixed up. I put by mistake winner's trophy in the Ameed one, yeah. Doesn't matter, hold on a second. I don't have a voice to sing. I mean, I like to sing, I sing all the time, but I am like the opposite of talented when it comes to singing, but I still love to sing and I don't care that I don't have a voice. Nah, yeah, I took out the one that I want to talk about. So, this fragrance. Look, I will be very honest, I might be a bit biased when I say this, but I think this is an amazing fragrance. I don't know, it's gorgeous. It's yeah, yes, this smells amazing. This smells, yeah, I feel like this is the kind of fragrance that every woman would like to smell on her partner, on her man, or on a man randomly walking down on the street. I don't know, like when you smell this fragrance, first of all, it smells very manly. It's a powerful fragrance in a sense, but it's simplific and it's easy to wear, nothing too complicated. Again, this is the kind of fragrance that it's like that one fragrance that you could wear in all occasions. This doesn't smell overly sweet, it doesn't smell youthful in a way. Now, to me, this smells like it has something from a barbershop kind of smell. So it's slightly dark and green, fresh, but like a dark green kind of freshness. A little bit aromatic, something peppery. And a rich woody accord in the background that supports all these notes. This could pass as the kind of scent that you would meet in like places where you go and get your beard trimmed, in a sense. This could pass as a scent that you would have in like a beautiful shower gel. But it has something to it. I don't know, I will be very honest, I love this one. Like, if I were to recommend you, now that it's getting warmer everywhere, if you're looking for an affordable fragrance, now, like I've mentioned, if you're looking for an affordable fragrance that you could dress it up, dress it down, doesn't smell too youthful, too young, too sweet, too bubblegummy, fresh blue type of fragrance, you want something that smells like you're a clean, manly man, I feel like this is a beautiful fragrance. It's very affordable. I don't think you can go wrong with this fragrance. And also it's the kind of fragrance that it will get you compliments. I will be very honest. It's when I convinced my partner to try this fragrance, you guys, I could not stop smelling him. He smelled so good. Like, he smelled so good. And the fragrance, I remember I did a spray here in the back of his hair, you know, and next day, like after 24 hours, I could still smell it here in his hair in the back of the neck. Yeah, it lasts. Now, I don't know how it lasts like on skin in a sense, but judging by how it smells, I think it's the kind of fragrance that it will give you around 6 to 7 hours of performance, of decent, beautiful performance. After 7 hours, I think you should top it up, you know, or maybe change the fragrance for the day. I don't know, maybe wear this one in the daytime, change it for something during the nighttime, but this could pass as a nighttime fragrance as well. This has something so beautiful. It smells clean in a sense. It has something fresh about it, but it's not blue fresh. It's like green fresh in a sense. It's green fresh. It's like dark green fresh, but not too aromatic to the point where it smells like a granddaddy, like a fragrance for a granddaddy, you know? It's not the kind of fragrance. It's timeless, it's ageless, it's effortless, it's casual, it's kind of sporty, like I've mentioned. You could dress it up, you could dress it down, date and night, special occasions, going to school, going to work, going out on a date with a beautiful woman, walking in the park, I don't know, doing the groceries, out of the shower kind of fragrance, ultra versatile fragrance. This is the kind of fragrance that, look, I don't know how unique this specific DNA is in the men's fragrance world. The one reason why I don't review as many fragrances for men here on my channel is because when it comes to fragrances for women and when it comes to unisex fragrances, I know a lot of fragrances. I have like scent memory. I have tested a lot of fragrances, but when it comes to men's fragrances, my knowledge is not as good, I would say. I'll be very honest, so I cannot say if this one has like 30% of I don't know what fragrance and 50% of another designer fragrance. What I can tell you is that none of these fragrances that I have talked about today have a Middle Eastern DNA. All of them are very much your typical designer like fragrances, but from all these fragrances, my favorite one and the one that left a mark on me is this one, Ameed. I think it's gorgeous. If you wanted to try it, I would highly encourage you to try it. Honestly, get this small version. Like, even if you don't like it, it's not a waste of money, you know. You could just give it away to someone, but it's a very easy to enjoy fragrance, and it has something magnetic about it, and it has something very intriguing. Also, it has something cooling in a sense, but not too cooling. Yeah, beautiful fragrance, gorgeous fragrance. Love this fragrance. Honestly, love this fragrance. I genuinely think Lattafa did an amazing job with this fragrance. Now let's move to the last fragrance for today's video, which is Winner's Trophy Silver. Okay, so this fragrance, let's see. Yeah, see, this is like sweet, blue and fresh. Has something bubblegum like in the background that's very sweet, and vanilla. Yeah, but it has this like overall blue freshness that's quite, like, not quite, like a little bit artificial in a sense, and it envelops all the other notes. Yeah, it's almost like you have two fragrances. One is sweet bubblegum with a little bit of vanilla. The other one is your typical aquatic aquatic fresh blue fragrance. You mix them together and you have this one. I think you should appreciate sweet fragrances as a man. Now, of course, keep in mind it does have some freshness. To me, this smells more more youthful in a sense. The previous one, Ameed, to me smelled more like a manly man in a sense. This one smells a bit more youthful. I could picture this fragrance on a teenager boy, but even though I still think it's ageless in a sense. I mean, look, it's beautiful nonetheless. It's beautiful. I feel like this is a bit more common, like this DNA is a bit more common than the previous one that I have tried. It's not, at least to me, it's not as unique. Look, I'll be very honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the sweetness of this fragrance. I feel like it's quite contrasting to the blue fresh aspect. I would have preferred if the sweetness here would have been a bit more toned down, because it's almost like the two different sides are fighting, you know, with each other, and it's like which ones win, you know, like which one wins, which one is the first one that you smell. And it's a bit crowded when I smell, like all the notes are a bit crowded when I smell them, but I mean, it smells nice. I'll be very honest, it smells nice. It smells, yeah, blue, fresh, aquatic, sweet. It's much brighter, it's not as dark as the previous one. The previous one had something a bit darker, had the woody accord that showed a lot of support to the fragrance. This one is much more top heavy. It's almost like it floats in a sense, you know, you have like a cloud of scent in a way. So yeah, now I don't know what to tell you about this one more. I don't know, again, I am not sure if it's a unique DNA, if it's an inspiration. When it comes to these 4 fragrances that I have talked about today, I don't think they're inspirations of anything. I feel like maybe they are mixes of different fragrances, but to me they smell like they're like a standalone fragrance. Now this one, yeah, it does have something slightly artificial about it, but again, I think for the price it smells great. Look, between these two, my favorite one is definitely the previous one. I think that one smells, honestly, overall, that one smells much more elevated. It smells much more expensive, much more luxurious, much more put together, and it doesn't smell like you're trying too much. Now this one smells like you're trying a little bit harder in a sense, like, yeah, I don't know. And I told you, I'm not the biggest fan of the sweetness. I feel like the sweetness, like for my personal taste, I'm talking now, should have been a bit more toned down, so it would have left some room for the blue fresh feel here to shine a bit more, because like I've mentioned, like how it is now, especially here on paper, they were like a little bit fighting. And I remember on my skin it was even sweeter. Like I definitely get much more freshness now on paper than on my skin, but it's still a beautiful fragrance as long as you enjoy fragrances that are fresh, blue, but with a sweet facet as well. So yes guys, those were my thoughts about these 4 fragrances from Lattafa. I think honestly all of them are pretty good. Some are better, some are just good. My favorite one from the 2 are definitely this one, the Ameed, and the other one, the version for women. I think those 2 were the ones that surprised me or impressed me the most. Both are very beautiful fragrances for day-to-day use, nothing too complicated, nothing too polarizing. If you're looking for something that's affordable, that has a beautiful presentation, that smells amazing, and that's very easy to enjoy by you and by people around you, I think these 2 fragrances will be amazing, or like amazing adds to your collection. Now these other 2 ones, Tharwah Gold, it's nice, but I would highly advise you to test it prior. I don't think it's, I mean, hit or miss for some. Personally, I like it, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I wouldn't see myself reaching for it, but this is just considering what I like in a fragrance personally. And this one, Winner's Trophy Silver, again, beautiful fragrance, very beautiful fragrance, casual, sporty, definitely more sporty than the previous one, but you have to appreciate sweet fragrances. Or like fragrances with sweet facet. Now that I'm smelling it, it's even sweeter, by the way. So yes, those are my thoughts about these two. Those are my thoughts about these 4 fragrances. If you have tried any of them, I would love to hear your thoughts about them down below. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment if you want to tell me anything. I promise that I will get back to you. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram. Here is my handle, and I will see you in my next video. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye.